Today I want to talk about reason. And reason is a way of setting boundaries for yourself. But those boundaries are not visible. They are set internally. And this is how we justify our actions and our words. Not by what we see outside of ourselves, but we are justified by our faith. And I'm not talking about religion here. I'm talking about conviction. So stick around. Today I want to talk about morality, reason, and essentially law, which is not prescribed in a tablet with 10 Roman numerals, or a constitution, or in any kind of script. That the reason why we behave the way we do is not because of the laws of the land. The law, as it is written, does not protect you. In other words, just because it's law doesn't stop someone from doing it. What stops you? What keeps you from it? And conversely, what makes you? Everybody is governed by their own morality, by their own conscience. And we can't handle that. So we try to legislate morality. We try to give people incentives and reasons for doing something or not doing something by threatening them. How threatening is it to be thrown in prison? Well, some people don't seem to think that's very threatening at all. And they do all sorts of duplicitous things that cross the line of the law. And if you think that you behave in a certain way because it's in the 10 Commandments, most people can't even name one or two of the 10 Commandments, much less say that's what I live by. We are justified by something called faith, which is a deep conviction and deep boundary settings for ourselves. You behave according to your own prescribed, intuitive way. And so do I. I set boundaries for myself. And conviction is standing by that. And that's what everybody's doing. Justification is a reason why you do something, and you can justify it in any number of ways. You can say, I'm doing this because I don't have enough money, so this is what I'm doing. Or I'm doing this because they are making me. Or I'm doing this because of this. So it's very hard to prove where justification comes from. But ultimately, it lies squarely in you. If you are going to cheat on your taxes, you're going to cheat on your taxes. And so, someone who kind of understands the internal landscape is not going to put themselves in a position of compromise. I'm not going to compromise my conviction about what I am going to do, what I am to do, and that decision lies very firmly in my reasoning, which is within me. All signs out here may be pointing towards a particular action I should take according to the outward sign. But to me, that is the secondary master. That is conventional thinking. That is thinking realistically. That is being guided by an outward sign, not an inward conviction. You mistake circumstance for reason when you do that. The budget won't allow me. The circumstance won't allow this. This won't allow this. So you can work within the confines of the law, and then you can have a whole set of laws for yourself, which are governed by one thing, because I want to. My mother put up her Christmas decorations on November the 7th, and my dad gave her a hard time and said, "It's just the 1st of November. Why do you want to do that?" And she simply said, "I want to." That was her reason. My dad's reason was it was the 7th of November. What if she wanted to put up her decorations on March the 15th? Is that too early? See, we cannot justify desire, can we? You cannot legislate someone's desire away. Just because abortion is illegal, is that going to take away someone's desire for an abortion and to go have it done by some guy in the alley with a coat hanger? No. Just because it's against the written law doesn't mean that prevents anybody from doing it. The real law is an internal thing, which has no regard for what I see out here and what I read. Most of us are totally ignorant of the law. I have no idea we're breaking. My friend Ethan, he's in the police academy. He says, we're breaking laws all the time. Every day you break a law. I roll through the four-way stop. I gun it at the red lights, at the yellow light sometimes. I've even been known to turn or to go through a red light because it took too damn long and it was early in the morning on a Sunday. Nobody was around. Of course. But ultimately, reason is internal. Desire is internal. And you can only serve one master. What's it going to be? Are you going to set laws for yourself? I set laws for myself all the time. I wait for that internal guidance to tell me, move. Or don't move. Do or don't do. A lot of times my internal GPS or my law says don't do anything about the situation. The situation doesn't govern. The budget is not the permissible one. Other people's advice is not the end. The economy doesn't decide. The written law doesn't decide. Others don't decide. I set my own boundaries. I am justified. by something I can't show you. Faith, a deep conviction. And so are you. There's no lack of faith. Your choices are not being made because someone told you, or you read it in a book, or because I said something. Your choices are governed by an internal prompting, which is just as spontaneous as a fart or a hiccup. And we have to admit that. You can't one-up it, outsmart it, escape it. That's what it means to be justified by faith. Morality is an internal affair, as is every single decision and choice and action you'll ever make. And if you think something out there has forced you to do it, guess again. You're not being pushed around, nor are you pushing around the environment. You're not doing any of that. It's working in tandem. The outside and the inside are working in tandem. But ultimately, it's the inside that you pay attention to. The inner stillness. That's your conviction. That's your guide. And guess what? You can't deny it. Even if it appears like you were forced to, that implicitly is that same internal reason. So reason is not to be mistaken for a circumstance. It is to be justified by deep conviction and paying very close attention to your inner workings, which always is justified by the unseen. My name is Ryan. I hope you enjoyed these insights. And if you have, please check out my blog, mymorningmotivator.com.